Welcome to Habitual Maker. Those of you who are returning, appreciate it. Today I'm going to be building a miter saw stand. Uh, should have made the plans in Fusion and had it all planned out, but life and work and things, I just haven't had time to build it in Fusion. I'm not very good at it, so it does take some time. So back to the old way of doing things, and that will be by the seat of my pants. So this magnificent thing right here is my plans. It's a top view. See where that's where the arm will be going back and forth. You know, when I'm doing my miters, some basic measurements, and this is my cut list so far. It's basically the top, the bottom shelf, two sides, and I'll figure out some stringers after I get those two done. I probably should cut those at the same time so I will have the exact same width. Just not sure. I really didn't want to use make the entire thing out of plywood. I was hoping to be able to use some reclaimed oak from pallets, but I'm pressed for time. I have so little time to get out and do stuff, and those are in my way, and they're heavy. It's two 5x5s of Baltic birch. They weren't cheap. I don't usually buy it. I talk a lot of shit about people that do stuff like that, but I didn't want to build a stand. One, I didn't want a big and clunky out of 2x4s. I know 2x4s will withstand the weight. It doesn't weigh that much. Probably only weighs 35 pounds, maybe, if that. But it costs a lot of money. So I want to make sure it was safe. In my head, I'm not an engineer and I don't have to do all the math, but in my head, cheap plywood, it wasn't gonna last. Probably 100% incorrect in that assumption, but that's the way my mind works, and it's why I have a tendency to overbuild everything I do. I built my kids' beds. You could park a freaking semi truck on them, and the thing would probably be fine. That's just the way I am. I don't know all the math behind figuring out how strong things need to be structurally. I just go, that doesn't seem good enough. I always go to the side of stronger is better. So that is why I got this, because Baltic birch is structurally one of the strongest plywoods there are. There are some that are just as nice that you can get, like a Pemcore, which basically looks like Baltic birch, but it doesn't have as many layers. I think these are like 12 layers. Lowe's has something called like McCory or something like that. It's real similar to Pemcore too. It's pretty, but structurally it's not the same. And that's why I picked Baltic birch, because I just wanted something that was going to be strong. And being the miser I am, and for those of you who don't know what a miser is, means I'm cheap. And I thought it would look good is to have some reclaimed oak as accents. So have the major sheets out of Baltic, and have like my stringers and things like that made out of the oak from pallets. Still may do that. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Like I said, I'm pressed for time. What I want and my time. So that's where we are right now. Going to start cutting some wood. You don't need to see me cutting sheets of plywood. Well, maybe I should, and then you guys can all laugh at me and then tell me how unsafe it is. But that's where we're at. I say that entirely too much, and I have realized that after editing different videos. So let's get on to it, and I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you learned something. Thanks. try and keep this as clean as possible. Contractor saws do not have good dust extraction, whatever you want to call it. A collection, I should say. They do not have good dust collection. There's ways to make it better, but being that I'm constantly moving this thing around, they don't work for me. It is what it is. Just got to deal with it. And when I win the lottery and then get a big old shop, then I won't have to worry about that. But right now, this is what I do, and I'm outside, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, it sucks to have to clean it up, but I also have a leaf blower to blow anything out away. So I just blow my stuff off before I put it away. It's good to go. So I need 23 deep and 24 3/8. So that's 34, and that's 34. So it doesn't matter how I cut it. Twenty-three. Go a little bit over my measurement, and then I can come back and make sure in case there's any waviness dealing with this bigger piece. And I'm not sure on any of these sides being, perfect. So to make sure, I'll just cut it close and then go back, and that way I got a fresh cut on both sides. And I keep forgetting to turn my vacuum on. They have little things where you can turn your saw on and turn your vacuum on, but I use my vacuum for so many things it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. The bottom of the box, I guess you would call it, and then I have the 4 stringers that will run across, the 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. That'll make the basic box structure. I will be putting probably plywood in the back, and then in the front drawers to give it a little bit more structure. And I also have a banding around the front to give it more structure, side to side, to keep it from racking. The plywood should be more than enough, but I can't think of the term of it. But like on cabinets, you have the bracket, the face frame. That's it, called the face frame. So I'll be having a face frame as well. So that will give it more structure. That's where we're at now. I'm gonna take a quick break and I guess start doing some pocket holes. Yay, my favorite thing. I'm not a pocket hole fan, but I find myself doing it more than I like. I guess if I planned better, I could come up with better joinery. It is what it is. I mean, I could just drill through the ends too. That would work. Dowels. I do have a doweling jig, a new one. I'll think about it. Dowels probably aren't the best going into end grain of plywood though. So, probably be pocket holes. Okay, so did a little bit of thinking and some measuring and things like that. Obviously, I want to use pocket holes as much as I dislike it. Sometimes it's just easier that way. If I wasn't always pressed for time and I had some more ability to plan out better, I would do better joinery. But it's going to come soon. I just, family, life, work. So this is what we got going. So I have them all marked. So you got the top. This is the inside. Got it marked where I want my my pocket holes screws to be screwed. Same with this. So this is the inside. I got it marked. I got marked the front. I got marked the back. I got where I want my pocket holes to be. You see the same thing here. That one's the same thing except for the back's over there because obviously it's the mirror of this one. And then the one on the bottom is the top, and it doesn't actually have, actually that one is the top. It doesn't have any pocket holes, and the one on the bottom is the bottom shelf, and it actually has pocket holes on the different sides. It has them right here along the sides because those will be going into these side pieces. And these will be going into, I'm sorry, these ones will be going into the bottom of the top piece that's over there. So we got on two different ones here. This one on the bottom, I have it along each side because they will be going into the sides right about here, a couple inches up from the bottom. And then these are the runners that will be going in between these, and they will be underneath the bottom and the top piece, and they'll be going screwing up from the bottom up through the bottom and the top shelves, essentially. So that's where we're at now, and I told myself I was going to quit saying that, and here I am saying it again. And I got to get out the pocket hole jig and start doing some drilling and clear the saw off of my workstation, put it back on the table saw, because that's what I got to do. Hopefully when this is done, I won't have to do that no more. But I don't know where I'm going to stick it because I got a lot of tools. So let's get to it. The original one, nothing fancy. They make some different ones. There's basically different brands that are metal. I actually think those look nicer and are probably better. But this one has never failed me, and it's been going good. I've had it for 13, 14 years or something like that. Get a little adapter like this from the hardware store for a couple bucks. Put it on there, and then you can hook it up to your vacuum. And it actually is very surprising how much it will actually take all the shavings out, which makes the repeatability of doing your holes a lot better, a lot easier when you're putting your wood there. You don't have to worry about all the sawdust and stuff. This sucks it right out. It's a really good idea. if you don't lock this bolt right here, it wants to move in and out. But I don't usually do it because I'm usually trying to adjust stuff and things like that. But lots of people have wings, so you don't have to worry about like how I was having trouble making sure it was level here. I'd like to do that, but if I do that, then I have no way of storing this, because right now I can put it all in the box and put it back in a drawer. So I don't know. I guess I could make some wood and have it laying around, but then that wood will probably just get used for something else. Okay, step away from the camera for a bit. So, as you see right here, I got one on each side, clamping it together. That way, this, let me see here. Okay, so I clamped one on each side. Same with here, both sides. And that will make sure that these two pieces are flush with each other. And then I made sure it's flush this way, because I was having on the other side, I was having problems. On this side over here, I was having problems with this runner wanting to come out a little bit. So I've already glued it and everything. I just got to screw it. I stepped away for a few minutes, had to run to the post office. So that's where we're at right now. And I'm going to hurry up, put the two pocket hole screws in, and then get all these clamps off, put the top on, and then make sure everything's all nice and square, and then put, I don't know, I probably made too many pocket holes for all of them, but I already did it. So it's like 6 and 6 and 6. Like 24. I don't think I need that many. Oh well. Try not to get hit by this. I've almost ran into it a few times. I'm sure that'll leave a nice mark. All right, let's get these off before I get taken out by them. I always keep little squares and things like that, offcuts. You just never know when you're going to need them for something. If I built this right, it should line up at every point. So this I know is square. I can measure if I can find a tape measure, and I'll know if I'm square. 34.5 exactly. Huh. It is not square. How is this not square? Wow. Yep, it's not square. I don't know what I did. I did something wrong. Wow, that is seriously out of whack. I got to figure something out. I'm gonna have to cut it down. It's not square. Uh, Parallelogram, about 16th. Yes. All right, I'll come back. All right, so it's out of it's all those cuts are straight, but it's a parallelogram. So if you continue to cut, you're just going to make it smaller, but you're still not going. This side is parallel with that side. This side is parallel with this side. I'm not going to get a straight cut. I'm going to continue to get the same cut. Because so it's not going to. And if this is when you would want to use like a miter sled, but this is a big piece of wood, so it's not going to work. So what I've done is I've squared this up with the blade using a big old a contractor square and a straight edge, and then held it down. So this is not going to move. So now I can bring the sled over with the using the fence, and I'll be able to make a straight cut, and then flip it over, make another cut, and then probably gonna have to do it to the other side. So that'll give me a straight here, and then I can go back and clean this side up, and then I'm gonna probably have to do it again on this side as well. So um, I honestly don't know what I did to do this. I don't know. This is yeah, I don't know. Good thing I checked. So I will get back to you, and we'll figure out what's going on with this. If I figure out what's going on, why I did it, I'll let you know. If somebody knows, let me know what I did wrong. This is a first. I don't know. Because I usually make my first cut off of a factory edge, and then I don't know what I did. Maybe I'll remember. Probably just don't remember. I probably did something. The factory edge is probably fine. It was somewhere along when I made the square cut. I did something. I did notice that this my fence is moving if I'm not tightening it down tight enough. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I cocked it. It's hard to say. I'll get back to it. Oh yeah, one more thing. I have half-inch MDF to make up for this, so it's not wacky. That worked awesome. What is that didn't work? I I don't know. On to the next trial. Should have done this in the first place anyways. It's a much better idea. So, a couple clamps. And in case you haven't figured it out, I'm not happy. I really, I don't know what I did wrong. I think that's my biggest issue is I don't know what I did wrong. So that's probably my biggest frustration is I don't know what I did wrong. Like this is the first time I've ever, I've cut stuff parallelograms that are small. Yeah, whatever, as long as I got a straight edge, I'm gonna throw it on my miter sled, which I think about broke. It was not a good one. It's supposed to be temporary, and it's been going on for long too long. Okay, so I actually was going to make a video about this, but here it is. So this is my L fence, not my O face, my L fence. What you do is, so since I know that line right there is square with this line, I will set a piece of wood. Just for an example, we use this right here. All right, let's get this down here where you can actually see what I'm doing. All right, so I've got a line right here that's square to, wow. Can you see anything I'm doing? Okay, that line is square to this using this square. So I will set a board of double-sided tape board right there, and then I slide that over and run that across there using this, because I know this is square to my blade and this is square to this. So then I'll do that, and that will cut over here on this side, fingers crossed, a square to this side. All right, does it make any sense? Probably not. I'm probably confusing myself at this point. Make sure this is nice and straight. Not that side. Actually, got a little chinga right there I don't want to deal with. Nice and straight. Nice and straight. Take my word for it, straight. A little bit of double-sided tape. This is, I believe they call it carpet tape. Make sure I got the right side here that's nice and, oh, that's not good. Got some, still have some paper on here. Make sure that this is the side that was good and flat and straight, or whatever you want to call it. So that is the one. So now I need to position this right here like this. Get that right there. Get that right there. Use the old blink, squint one eye. No, that right there. All right, I still got my line. So now maybe this will make more sense. Is so you slide this over here, and then you run it across here, and that is sticking under there. but it doesn't matter because that line is square to this line, and that should give me a square cut. Should. Please. Let's give her a whirl. About a 16th. Now I'll just move my fence over tiny bit, about a 16th. I didn't quite clean up the entire edge, so I'm going to move it over just a tiny bit more. I'm trying to take off as little as possible. Theoretically, I should have a square edge now. And yes, I do. Now getting these two pieces apart, not gonna be easy. Holy crud. Man, that's one problem. Stuff sticks really well. Wow. It's so sticky, I can probably use it for the next one. So let's, since these were parallel, then that means this one should be square to this one as well. So we'll go ahead and show that. Can you see that on the camera? Nope. Let's get this camera up here. Get it a little closer. Okay. I'm gonna slide it over and it's just there. I don't know if you can see. That's the goods right there. Sorry for the crazy cameras, but you can see it worked. And that's what the L fence is designed for. You can cut out shapes and things, you just need a straight edge stuck to the piece that you're doing, and it'll ride along this, and then it'll cut the opposing side parallel to whatever your straight edge is set at. So now this is square, this is square, right? Square, square. So all I have to do now is run it this way against the fence, and it'll clean this edge up. Oh, and this right here, it's not mine idea. I got it from Dumpy Nubs, I believe. From what I understand, it's been around for ages, and there's a multitude of variations. It's not mine. I just something I picked up from people who know more than I do, which is a lot of people. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Can you see? Probably not. Take my word for it. It's square now. It's undersized. Maybe I can put some edge banding on here. I don't know if my edge banding is that thick. First of all, I got to figure out how much undersized it is. We'll figure that out. Maybe give me a good reason to put some hardwood edge banding, not just that little iron-on stuff that I have. I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna put it on the stand, see how far off I am, how undersized it is, and we'll go from there. It may be tomorrow. As you can see, the sun's going down. It is wintertime here in Tucson. It looks like we're about 54 degrees. It's not too bad, but I had to put on a heavier shirt. Those of you people who have real winters, you're probably laughing at me. This is probably shorts weather for you, but I'm used to the heat. So it's what it is. Anyways, and it's getting late too, 5:30. We'll see. I may come back tonight. I don't know. I'm rambling. This will probably be edited out. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see how it is. All right. So it's 4 millimeters too narrow, and about 2 not deep enough. The deep I'm not worried about. It's gonna be on the back side. No one will ever see it. And on the sides, since I'm gonna be having wings that flip up, there'll be that slight little edge. It's shop furniture. I want to leave it. I mean, I could cut 2 millimeters and glue it on each side, because obviously you don't want 4 millimeters on one side and nothing on the other, because that would look weird. Um, I just don't think it's going to be noticeable. I'm just going to leave it. It is what it is. I hate that it happened, but it's actually good because it made me think outside of the box and try and figure out how to fix it. and you know, it was nice knowing that I knew how to fix it, and I had the jig already to do it. So you know, that's like the two-edged sword of being a maker is you run into stuff like, and it drives you nuts, but that's what makes you learn more and strive for more. So you just keep going and yeah. I call myself a maker. I wouldn't consider myself a woodworker. I love doing woodworking, but I also like doing stuff with metal. I'm an electronics technician by trade. I used to be a machinist by trade for many years before that. I do a little of everything. So that's why I consider myself a maker. I see stuff and go, I can do that. Just most of these videos have basically been about woodworking because I'm trying to get everything set up so I can do stuff that I want to do. I mean, this is fun, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather be metal than something cool, you know? Um, you know, so, you know, and I do a lot of woodworking, but it's also because, you know, the family wants end tables, coffee tables, kitchen tables, bed frames, things like that. Um, yeah, you know, I do some painting, fix stuff on cars, ranting and raving and meandering off again. I'll get back to you. Let's get back to putting this on here. I'm not sure if I want to glue this on or not. Glued everything else on. I'm not going to glue it on. It's setting on top. It's going to have a zillion screws in case something happens to it. I don't like it. It ticks me off tomorrow when I want to cut the right size piece. I'm not going to glue it. Everything else should be fine. I'm not going to glue it. No, I'm not going to glue it. It ain't going to change. Like I said, there's going to be like 24 screws holding it on. And then the saw will be pushing down on it. It'll be fine. So Baltic birch is supposed to have one good side and one bad side. And one side would have little, I don't know if you can see that. There's a little football right there where they fixed something. That's only supposed to be on one side. Got one there, got one there. I also have one right here. Guess it doesn't matter, there's gonna be a saw sitting on it. But what if there wasn't? This clamp, I forgot what it was called, is here because the unit is slightly out of square. So I did that to make sure it's square. And then I already have my handy dandy square here to set it, get it right on both sides, flush it up on the front, make sure it's still there, put that over, good over here, good over there, good all around. And on the back, I believe, yeah, it's about 1.5 millimeters shy. So stuff happens. I mean, I've got another sheet. I can cut another one and just use this for something else. I need to make a another table saw sled. So I got the other side in. I'm gonna get this side. As you see, there's the little lip, and there's a little lip right there. Let's see if I can get you closer. You can see how small that lip is. So, and then on the back side. So, yeah. Hey, mistakes are made. Some YouTuber says something like that. He has like a shirt or something like that where mistakes are made. It must be like a universal thing when people are making stuff. Almost made a boo-boo. I'm feeling around so like make sure I don't block one of the pocket holes, so I don't have to move it when I'm trying to screw it in. All right, onto the sides. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them. It's a lot of screws to hold something down that's going to have something weighted on it. Probably not. And maybe I will. The holes are there. I got the screws. Yeah, why not? All right, back again. Thought I was done for the night, and then I noticed something. I took some pictures of it. I didn't get video because I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I already put the camera away. I'll post the pictures now. Basically, the 2 millimeters I was short on each side of that panel was just enough where the screw poked through on the sides, every side, even the back. So that shows that that's how close it is, that it's that close to the edge. So if you really do crank down, I was using 1.25" screws, which is what Craig says to use, but I've read on the internet that a lot of people are using inch screws because 3/4 is not actually 3/4. That may be something I need to think about next time. Or what I could also do is next time not drill quite as deep. I've done that before where I had the wrong screws and I just drilled more shallow. Very frustrating. So I showed how I fought with this sheet of plywood to cut it with the table saw earlier, and about killed myself and probably broke like every rule or every safety rule there was. I'm gonna keep it in the video so everybody can have a good laugh and tell me how stupid I am. Um, it was harder than what I'm doing now. I just didn't want to do it. I need to go buy one of those foam mats so I can lay it down. I don't have a lot of room. I'm gonna have to get that done. So uh, let's show you what I'm doing. And so that is my makeshift track saw because I don't have how much ever Best Tools track saw are. I know the Makita's like 700. Anyways, that's made out of flooring. I glued them together, did it. It's fine. It's straight. It's straight. It's all that matters. Boom, done. Not to mention, I'm not using this like a track saw where you would try and make a precise cut. I'm using this just to break the thing down so then I can shove it through my table saw. So it's good enough. Um, it is what it is. But I wanted to show you. The only reason I did this was because I wanted something that was like over 8 feet tall or 8 feet long, so I could do, like if I needed to cut 5 inches off of an 8-foot sheet of plywood, I had this. It's a royal pain in the butt to store, but it's handy. Um, I'm probably gonna make another one that's shorter for things like this. But this is 5 feet, and if I made one to cut a cross cut of a sheet of plywood, it wouldn't have worked either because this is 5 feet, and I would probably only have had it 5 feet. So this one's only about 2 feet, 2.5 feet longer than it needs to be, so that doesn't add up. Anyways, I'm gonna get cutting. if I can find my saw. So just take a gander at literally how little space I have, okay? So I am like just crammed in here. Get this? So. So, in case you're wondering, these strips of MDF are lifting it up above the table saw. I'm only about 1/8 of an inch, got a 1/2 inch MDF, should be good. Actually, I just realized that's not going to work because I got to add this as well. Man, you ever had one of those days? That's kind of the way I'm feeling right now. Yeah, that's it. Let's just. Well, let's see if that's enough to get it through. It's pretty shallow, but I don't want it to be any more than I have to. There's 2 long ones. There's actually a short one down the center here too. And I'm hoping that this doesn't fall. So we shall see. This is why I need that foam stuff. Whoever came up with 5x5 plywood, I hate you. Not quite deep enough. This is safer than what I was doing, but not much. So there you have it. Run it through my table saw, clean up that one edge, then cross cut it. Hopefully it's square. I'm not gonna do that on camera. I don't even know if I'm gonna do it now. But that's what I'm gonna do, and you get it to drift. All right. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I didn't design this to be level with my table saw. I designed it to be level with my fold-up table, which was kind of stupid because I think that thing's kind of low. It is what it is. I'm not changing it now. So, I could just build a little riser on it, and I can do that later if I want. I do plan on building a different folding work table. One of the ones that kind of just go up like that, and then the base stays. You've probably seen the videos. Time, the time being this works. It's easy to get out of the way. It was cheap. I already have it, so we'll do that. And then if in the future I do build one that's taller, I really can't decide if I like the height of my table saw, which I think is kind of high, but I think my workstation is kind of low. But what are you gonna do? So it would be easy to it'll be easy to raise it up because I just got to build a little riser over the sauce that's on top of it, and then I'll have another little storage drawer. So let me show you what's going on with here. So to get the right measurement, I need two of these, which I had actually measured out. I had enough forethought to do that. And these sit on here. If I use this little, just a little step off, it's a little bit bigger than it needs to be, but it gives me the space where this will go ahead and swivel. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue these down, all four corners, and I need to figure out which side's back and which side's front, so I don't have them weird. If you put your casters in the back, it is a nightmare. Trust me, I had a toolbox that way I built, and just was too lazy to fix it. And man, it drove me nuts for years until finally I just gave up and fixed it. So these are U-line. They're good to like 700 pounds or some craziness like that. I got them for free. They're locking casters. They're big. They'll roll over just about anything, was mainly why I got them. And the price was right. You gotta love free. So that's what I'm doing. And currently, as I'm recording this, I keep debating, should I make these taller? I don't know. So I could mount these. I could mount the wheels the way they are, and that'll be fine. And then I could build a riser to put the saw on, or I could put a cover on this, which is a complete waste of wood, and that'll drive me nuts. But that will give me another 2.5 inches plus Baltic birch is what do we figure out, 9/16. So well, 3.25 inches, and then that would get us to almost the height of this. But then my work table would not be sliding under here. I feel that this is low, but oftentimes when you're working and you're doing something, I mean, I'm not very tall. I'm not very tall. So my arm's here, you know. So I guess that's about right. Seems about logical for the saw. I think I'll leave it that way. I can always change it later. Guess I'll never know what's good until I do it. Yeah. So I'm gonna glue this stuff up and drill some holes and things like that. And I'll be back. I'm not gonna record that because it's stupid, and it's just something I'm gonna end up editing out at the end of the video anyway. So I'll be back. That's a horrible Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation. All right. I thought I was recording. Guess I wasn't. I just glued these down, a couple brad nails. Use my Bauer Electric 18 gauge brad nailer. Love it. And right now I'm just drilling holes that are reasonably small all the way through the two layers of 3/4 inch ply, all the way, so I can basically have a reference point. And then on the other side, which would be like the bottom of the shelf, I'll be able to use a Forstner bit to go down a little bit, so the screw or bolt, I should say, will be recessed. Honestly, if I would have thought about it and like not been complete dummy, I could have just used some screws and some washers and just went straight there, and it probably would have been easier. But now I got holes on the inside. I got to do something. I love how I do something and then halfway through it, I realize I probably should have just done it. Any other time, I would have just used a self-tapping spack screw with a washer. I don't know why I didn't do it this time. I had these holes there, but they will be covered up by a drawer, so that would be easier than finding the right length bolts and doing, the countersinks. think that's what we're gonna do. I'll be right back. I don't want this tight just yet. Try and get these nice and as centered as possible for no other reason than I have OCD. Probably one of the hardest parts about having OCD and woodworking is it's never perfect, and you really have to just accept that. Maybe it helps my OCD. I don't know that I have to accept the fact that it's not perfect. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there, maybe somebody out there can Freud me. Use their education that they're not using for any other reason. Help a brother out. Sometimes I wonder why I record these videos, to be honest with you. I'm starting to get people to watch them, but sometimes I think it's like resistance is futile. You know what I mean? So you're probably like, this guy's a complete geek talking about Star Trek. I'm not a Trekkie. I watched it, but just the word futile brings to mind the Borg and their little saying. Okay. What is the deal here? There we go. Huh. What is going on there? There we go. Probably have to play some music for this during this part of the video. It's all boring. The crazy guy ain't saying nothing crazy. Almost there. Almost there. Oh man. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Horseshoes and hand grenades. And if anybody who's young and has no idea why I just said that, when I was young, we had the saying when people say it was almost, I almost did this, I almost got that. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And if you know how to play horseshoes, you understand that. If you don't, well, hand grenades, you know what that is. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. You only gotta get close for it to work. So almost horseshoes and hand grenades. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Maybe I should have named this Gen X does woodworking or something. All right, there we are. I need more than one camera to record, but I don't want to use my phone and the camera. Anyways, those are there. I'm gonna turn it upside down, or right side up, I should say. And yeah, there we are. So that's that. Yeah, front. See that? You'd think that maybe I built this wrong. No, this porch is the worst ever. It goes this way and that way. It's horrible. Trust me, it's not me. And the reason I can tell you that is because this table saw wasn't built like that horrible, right? And it's only got 3 wheels, so it should never do that. And yet it does it. All right, let's give myself a hernia. It's not that heavy, but you know, I like to complain. See, now it doesn't wobble. So let's put this at 0. So figure out something to do with this cord for the and that's about it's about straight up and down right there. Yeah, I mean we're talking 1/8 of an inch, just this little piece right there. That's close enough. You got 4.5 and 4 3/8. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it like that because I want it's got to go into my shed. Table saw goes back over there. Then this folds up and gets put over there. The bandsaw stays there. The uh, uh, vacuum and it's my little concoction, little wood separator vacuum goes right there, and then it needs to go in behind it. And if I slide it in this way and bring the arm over, it's basically it'll be at its most narrow, and I shouldn't have any problems. And if I have to, I can flip it around, and this will go underneath my table saw. So I have that space right there. So, I mean, for that matter, I can probably leave it at 0 and turn it in that way, and this will still go under the table saw. So now I just need to drill some holes and screw this thing down. I don't know. You got these big ones, you got these smaller ones. Probably just put all the screws away for no reason. Should probably maybe stick a glue some 3/4 in 4 spots and then screw, and it'll grab that way. It'll go through here and another piece. I'm not worried about the plywood bowing or anything like that. Just that the screw has more to grab onto. Or you could drill some holes and use some tapered bolts, which I have. I'll have to check that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video for now and figure out how I'm gonna do that. Because this whole build has been so well planned. But hey, let's see. Let's check something. Well, you see that? I thought I had all my calculations down, but I don't. Huh? Yeah. Well, it is what it is. I'm not gonna try and shim up an eighth of an inch. I'm not doing it. Ain't gonna happen. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. And for all I know, if I was on a level piece of concrete, it might actually match up. That's it's probably good enough.
Behold the mighty miter saw. So, I guess I forgot to turn my mic on, or the batteries ran out. Whatever. Either way, this is what I'm doing here. I'm trying to show you like the finished product with the miter saw affixed to the top of the stand, and I'm going to explain, what I did and why I did it and things of that nature. I don't know any idea why I'm doing a thumbs up, but this was recorded 6 months ago, so my apologies. Yes, it takes me that long to edit my videos. What I am going to say in this video, where I said it and it wasn't recorded, is I talk about the drawers that I was going to build. I'm going to build. I did build, and that they're 2.5 inches and 3 inches. I like them very shallow. I don't like things stacked on top of each other because then you lose stuff, like the freezer in your garage at the bottom that you have no idea what is there. But anyways, I digress. So moving the camera around like a complete goober, making stupid faces. And now I'm talking about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I am going to set the drawers in about an inch. My hope is that the sawdust won't go into the drawers as much as if it was flush mounted. Didn't work. Complete waste of time. I'll let you know that. But hey, sawdust gets everywhere. So I will go ahead and move on to the next clip that actually has some audio, and I'm doing some productive other than just looking at the camera and doing stupid things with my hands.
Okay, made some decisions. Got my super complex drawings and notes. I'm gonna make 7 drawers. 4 of them are gonna be 2.5, which will give me 2 inches, and 3 of them are gonna be 3 inches, which will give me 2.5 inches. I'm just going to use 1/2 inch MDF. I have it. It's not that I don't want to go buy the plywood. I just need to get rid of the stuff I have. I have too much material and not enough place to get it. And MDF, it comes cheap, and it is what it is. I don't really like using it, but I have it. It was free, and I really need to get rid of it. And I definitely am not going to make drawers out of Baltic birch because it weighs too much and it's too expensive and it's too thick and takes up too much space. And I would lose a whole drawer if I did that. So, um, and the weight, man, that stuff's heavy. Um, Half inch MDF is very light. Uh, I got some cheap uh, drawer slides, not ball bearing, the rollers. So we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna get back to doing some drawers. I'm just gonna make them real simple. Just gonna cut out the size of the drawer for the bottom, and then just glue and brad nail the sides on. And I don't think I'm even gonna like miter the joints or half lap or anything. I'm just gonna butt join them in MDF. What I kind of feel like what's the point? I just kind of need to get this thing done so I can move on to other things that I want to do. I would love to take the time and mill down my reclaimed pine and the upcycle channel. That guy, the way he does stuff, I would love to do stuff like that. Uh, you know, I could uh, I could cut my wood down the middle and make thinner pieces out of it for the drawers and glue it all together. He does all that and it's awesome. I just don't have the time. Um, this video would never get done. So I'm gonna start cutting some wood. Okay, so those are all cut at 23 and a quarter. I needed to be cut at 23. The reason why I did that is because, especially when they're big, you usually don't get a good accurate cut, and I like to be able to cut both sides. So since they didn't cut exactly the way I like, some of them look, I don't know. I may just be overthinking it. I'm gonna do 23 and an eighth, clean up, clean up one edge, and then turn it over and go back and do the 23, and then I'll be great. And then I can cut the other ones by 19. I'll probably do like 19 and a quarter and then 19. Just something I do. I don't trust factory edges, and I also don't trust the edge that I cut before because I may have messed it up. So back to cutting. So exciting, wasn't it? No, I just gotta cut the sides. Um, but my battery's getting low, so I think I need to take a break. So go ahead and if you're watching this video after it's been edited and uploaded and all that, go ahead and let me know all the things I did that was unsafe and incorrect. I know I saw a bunch, so I'm human. I am. I am. All right, we're back. It's so hard to get in the camera and have. Okay, using my little makeshift 90-degree holders, corner clamps. I actually have fancy ones, but for some reason I always seem to use these. Um, Habit, I guess. I don't know, but so I already put the glue on these. I'm gonna brad nail them. Half-inch MDF is a royal pain to try and not, and I already have two that kind of. So I don't like that at all. But what are you gonna do? Gotta do what you gotta do. I've seen people hold them together and do them. Maybe if I was using plywood, but MDF and it's only half inch, it's just, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing it that way. And oh, I'm surprised that one didn't go out. It was a little on the wax here. It's probably the longer way to do it. I've already done one and I didn't do it this way. And as soon as I started, I wished I had done it this way. This is the way I usually do it. And deviating just is messing me up. There's a zillion ways to put them together. This is just how I'm doing it this one time, I guess you could say, because I probably don't do it the same way all the time. But one of the things I do seem to do all the time is use these. I usually grab something that's like a spacer of some sort, so it's kind of in the middle. And I don't know, it's always worked for me. Like I said, I've got some fancy aluminum ones, and I've got the one where you set the pieces in there and use. My wife gave me, I think it was more like a picture frame style. I just don't. I don't know. These ones just seem to. It's probably just habit. But it is my habit, so you just kind of get it where you want, right? Hold it together. Put down one side, and then take it off, and then you glue. Put some glue on, and then so I can adjust this the way I want, so it's nice and flush. Yep. Tighten that up. Now these move, and I can just put some glue on my ends. This is a very not good, way to put drawers together. Generally, you wouldn't want to do your corners like this, just butt joints, especially with MDF. But the reason why it's okay in this situation is because I'm gluing it down to the base. If you were to have a joint where like the base is slid in, or anything like that, this would not be a good way to do it at all. I would not advise that. Okay, make sure they're good. And that'll do it for that. Now, I'm going to glue this on top. I always seem to never have enough or way too much glue. I can't figure out how to do a happy medium. Old credit cards make good glue spreaders. Alrighty. I am a big proponent of using salt. If you're not familiar with salt, it helps stop the wood from sliding on the glue. You just need a tiny bit. You don't need to. I missed most of what I just threw down, but that doesn't matter. You just want to have a little bit. It's just enough grain to where you kind of get it where you want. So now that I got it where I want and tightened it up, and it's not going to slide on me because of the grit of the salt, but it will just what do you call it? Dissolve in the glue. And then I say that, and it's moving on me because I must have not got any salt right here. So that's nice and level. All right. Clamp on the back here. Probably don't need the clamps on the back. I mean, probably don't need any of these clamps, to be honest with you. But I'm such a klutz that if I don't, I'll end up knocking it or something, and it won't. I won't be able to have what I need. Something will get in the way or something, and that's just the way I am. So it's kind of like a overdo it type of situation. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to make sure that the base or the sides are square to the base because I know the base is square, but the sides, they're even not close. Feels good here. Feels good there. Feels good. Doesn't feel good there. Don't like that for some reason. Well, I don't know. I'm probably being entirely too fickle. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's about a 16, 30-second overhang, but I wasn't super precise. did my best to cut them, but you know. So so far so good. So what? Wow. Well, I don't even need these. So I don't know why I still have it on. I've already clamped down on this side. I need to clamp down on this side over here. Those don't have this side here. Not too bad. And then wash, wax, repeat, whatever, rinse, repeat. I don't know if that saying goes. Same thing over and over again. 5 more to go. I'm the one that decided I needed a bunch of drawers that were super shallow. And then I just realized I only have enough runners for 4 drawers. So I gotta go buy some tomorrow. I'm not gonna do that today. So I don't know. Maybe I'll order some on Amazon and get some ball bearing ones and be all fancy smancy like the rest of the YouTube woodworkers. Probably not. Ball bearing ones are nice. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like paying the price for them. And I surely am not going to pay the price for Bloom. Now, I'm not saying they're not worth it. I'm not saying that they're not good. They're very nice. I just can't build a cabinet, and the most expensive things are the runners. I mean, think about it. You build a cabinet with Bloom, especially under drawer runners. Um, that you have more money in that than you do like your wood. It doesn't equate in my head for some reason. Once again, not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. Just it don't work for my brain. So be nice if I had a big table. And another reason why I do it this way, because this way I know I've got the right pieces. I mean, it sounds stupid, like how hard could it be? Those are a different width. You can only do it one way. I would do it this way. I would do it the wrong way. Like I would have it like this or something, and then I would figure out a way to mess it up. I wrote right here, or if you can see this, it clearly says 24 and 3/8. That is the dimension on the inside of the sides. So 24 and 3/8, you remove an inch for two half-inch slides, and you have 23 and 3/8.
For some reason, I made all my drawers 23 inches. Does not work. So I had to take a 16th off of each side, which was not easy because I had to make sure all the nails were set in enough that they weren't going to get hit by my saw blade. Um, so I did that. Yeah, MDF everywhere. Um, but I was wearing my respirator that time. So I did that, and then I laminated quarter-inch plywood on each side. All right, we're back. Um, Honestly, don't even remember where I left off with this build. It's becoming such a thorn in my side. I just want it done. uh, so I furred out the sides of the drawers. Um, so it was 3/8 um, narrower than it was supposed to, and a quarter-inch on each side is more than 3/8. So I did 16th of each side through the saw, and then put a quarter-inch of plywood on each side, which was a nightmare too because then this is a recap. I've already recorded some of these things. Um, the the outer sheeting on the plywood, like this is the plywood here. You can see this just started strips. I don't know if it's because I left it outside. It wasn't in the rain or anything. It is pretty crappy stuff from. Um, Actually, no, I got that from the cabinet shop, so it's not even bad stuff. That's kind of frustrating. Whatever, it's quarter-inch plywood. Anyways, I didn't like the way it looked. I put some Bondo on it. I still didn't like the way it looked, so I painted it black. And if you can see it, you're too close. We're going to go with that. You hear me? You're too close. Okay. All right. So now I need to put the drawer slides in. I don't like putting drawer slides in. I mean, I know how to keep them level and everything with that with spacers, but doing the math to make sure that I get all my drawers in and not have like a weird gap, it's a nightmare. I probably just overthink it, but I always do. Uh, I got two 3.5 inch drawers. They're actually 3 inch drawers, but the overall is 3.5. And then three, four that are 3 inches. Um, so I believe I've done the math right. And there should be an eighth of an inch in between each one, which I know, that's like way too little, shallow, blah, 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 blah. Also, who the hell makes, drawers this shallow but me? So there's a specific reason for what I'm doing. Probably because I'm a madman and crazy, but there's a specific reason for what I'm doing. So I got a couple strips of plywood down to set the first row of slides on, and then from there I'll do a couple measurements to measure spacers for the next ones, and then the ones after that I basically just have to cut those spacers down by a half inch. Everything theoretically should work. So let's get to it, and hopefully I don't hurt myself or drive myself nuts. All right. Don't mind the sleeping golden retrievers. They're just these things that like make messes and eat my food. These are the cheapest slides I could get off of Amazon. I think I got 10 sets for like $40. So I'm not holding my breath on how great they are. But then again, my drawers are only 2 inches and 2.5 inches deep. I'm not putting a whole lot of weight on them. I was going to use the cheaper slides, with just the wheels, but I couldn't find any that were actually cheaper than this. That one on this side, and put this one on this side. It probably doesn't matter, but just in case. Close them up. Put that to the back. Now I do want to be able to I want the face to actually set behind here. So I need to figure that out. So this is the same wood as this. So there's that. And then that behind. I don't know if this makes sense to people. It makes sense to me. And then I'm using the uh, the riser as a stop where I want this. So now those are that way. And then let's do the same thing here. So put this here. What do you want? I'm not, it's not time to get pet. No, no. No, I'm busy. Hey, are you a mooch? You just want to be on the camera. You just want to be on the camera. Stop licking my hands. Okay. All right. Stop. 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 Please. Please. No. No. Don't lick my face. See the camera? It's watching you do all this stuff. See, look at. Look. Why can't you be like her? She doesn't do this stuff. Please stop. Please. I can't get to this stuff if you're in the way. Hello. 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 No. Stop, please. No, don't lick. It's not that time right now. You're just a mooch. All right, please stop. See the things I gotta deal with? Hey, hey. Stop. Do it over here then. Fine. The reason why I did the pieces of wood, because theoretically it should be 1.5 inches. Theoretically. But it's not. Just ever so slight. And it doesn't matter. It's shop furniture. No one's gonna see it. It's not like I'm selling this stuff. But it drives me nuts. You see that? You see that? That dog is nosy. She's actually taking boxes of screws off the counter and took them out into the yard. I don't know what she was planning on building. So I was getting ready to just do a pilot hole, but then I forgot. I have these, I don't know, center drilling bits. There's a name for them, but I got generic ones. All right, make sure the dog didn't move this. She probably did, and she did. Well, that's good to malarkey. That screw just broke. I guess that's what you get when you buy really crappy stuff. But there's a zillion other holes here, so. There's that one. There's that one. Huh. Thought there was more. That one ain't gonna work no more. Huh. Yeah. I'll use one of the oblong ones. I don't usually like doing that, but. I want to say something about this and how it doesn't lock and stuff. This is the worst the worst back patio you'll have ever seen. I understand they're supposed to go this way, get the water off. Nothing straight, nothing. I get puddles out here because it's so uneven. So that's why this it shouldn't be that way. And it's not just this; it's everything I put here. So trust me, I'll move it later and show you guys. It's not. It's not this. This is square. I promise. Well, kind of square. It's got two scraps, 1/4 inch. It's not actually 1/4 inch. I think it's more like mils. I don't know exactly. It is 100 and almost 90 thou. So that's probably millimeters or something or other. I'm not going to do the math. It's enough to keep the drawer off of the base, and that's really all that matters. And I don't remember which one's front. That looks horrible, so we'll put that in the back. Yep. Sounds like a good idea to me. So I'll put this back in here. Okay. Now watch. I probably measured wrong. It doesn't fit. Oh, that was a joke, but then it started to look like it was going to be real. So it's always good to throw something back there so it doesn't want to rock forward. Probably should have something a little more heavy, but for right now, it'll do it. Can you see what I'm doing here? Or my big head in a way? Kinda, maybe, sorta. Alright. So, got this thingamabopper here. Goes like that. See? Vicks bits. But this is generic from Amazon. Make sure to put this one back here before I take this one. Drop a screw again. Yeah, it's a good angle, huh? It's a real good angle. All right, so we'll lay this here. Make sure that put that there. And it's as simple as that. Let's slide it out a little bit more. Try and get the next ones. Push those back on both sides. Slide it out some more. And then you see this right there. So use that one right there. I can probably get to it from here, so no point continue to pull the drawer out anymore if I can get to it. And my arm's probably blocking the video too. I'm not very good at this YouTube stuff. I'm trying. I'm getting better. I'm thinking about stuff. Thinking about video angles and things like that. All right. To the other side. All right. Excuse me, drive-by liquor. No, don't lick the camera. No, don't lick the camera. Oh, I know. You need loving. You're so mistreated. So again, put this here, make sure it's where I want it. I actually already have this one in, but you know, I forgot because, and that's the problem with MDF. But it is what it is. So since this one is spinning freely, what I'm going to do is I'll come back and I'll put some glue in that hole. That'll probably fix it all up like it should be. And then now you put this little thing down here. And you do it on the other side. The other side you pull up. And then you can have access to the back holes. See? And I'm going to stand up and do that because my knees are killing me. The dog decided he needed to play with his water earlier. And see, I have in his bowl. And the pond is not running because you'll hear it. So now he's wondering where his water fountain is. So he's looking at me all crazy. Look at. Well, now he's going to come over here and beg or eat sawdust, one or the other. Well, I'll be back. I get some dog food and water for the puppies. So I wanted my drawers to pull out a little further than normal. And they sell them in 20, 22. This is 22. It's a little longer, but I can still use that hole right there. And it'll be fine. You're so greedy. So the puppy won't let the older one eat. So I put food in two spots. Puppy comes over, eats that food, then she goes over there and hoards that one. All right, so slide the drawers in. There's that. Now, I want 1/8 of an inch between the top of this and the bottom of the other one. So I'm going to put a little 1/8 inch strips here, put another drawer in, and then I'll figure out the measurement between here and the next and the bottom of the next drawer slide. And these aren't necessarily 1/8 of an inch, but they're close enough, and they're all the same. I essentially have the bottom of the slide level with the top of the bottom piece of MDF on my drawer. So that's what I want to shooting for here. So I want to go to here. So I'll just measure. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be close. Close but no cigar. And what does the magic number say? Well, it starts at 16. So it looks like a tad under. It's really hard to see with this camera. I'm going to say 1.7 inches. Yeah, 1.7 inches. Okay. So now I'm going to cut a strip of wood, 1.7 inches thick, lay it on there, and then I can lay my other ones on and go from there.
Okay, we're back on the miter saw cart build. I still haven't got the drawer face frames, not face frames, but faces taken care of. But I've got to do stuff. The reason why I'm getting done is they're not important. I got to get other stuff done that is more important. But it's really hard to open the drawers because I got them so close together. They're only like an 1/8 inch apart. So I'm putting the handles on now. I'll be able to use them later because they'll still have the same holes. I'm just going to put a face over it, and then I'll know where to drill for the other ones too. You know, after I put them on there, I already have holes. So, but I just wanted to show you how I go about doing it to make them like all basically the same. So it's a pretty simple little process. So let's get to that. So basically, what I did, I just got a piece of this is 1/4 inch plywood. Whatever, anything will work. It doesn't really matter. I just had it laying around, and it was basically the same size as this because it's scraps from when I used. I laminated them on the side of my drawers. Um, I made the holes, so uh, this matches up, which is fairly simple. And then once I did that, I drew the lines, found center from here to here, made the holes, put them on, and then made sure the screw went through, and then I found center of that. I found the center of all my drawers, but I found center from the um, case, the actual cart itself, not the drawer, just because I don't know, it just seemed easier. And you're going to be looking at it in that you're going to want them, in the center. So in case I did something weird when I put this drawer on there or something like that, the faces are going to be equal distance between each side of the cart. So that's why I did that. So I got the little line. I line up the line, but here I got one of these. Make sure that hole the same size as this. You go through and you punch it. Pull off your little clamp, and now I have holes. I can drill my holes. Hopefully I can drill these holes perpendicular because I'm really bad at that. And one more hole. Stick through, screws through. Now I'm probably gonna have a problem because these screws are way too long, um, because they're meant to be going through a much thicker piece of wood. But I will take care of that in a second. There's some sawdust or something in that one. All right, so there we go. Obviously, I probably have some more shallow screws that I'll go ahead and stick in there, and there we go. And it's something simple. I'll do it on all of them because I have all the lines on all of them, and then I'll be able to have a handle for the time being. I'll just use a different size screw for right now. If I don't have a different size screw, I'll probably just throw a piece of scrap wood back here just to take up the slack. All right, time to start doing the shoshugi bon. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Method, treatment, whatever. It will look. It'll look something like this. So you dye it, you char it, and you dye it. And, yeah, different ones. You can have more dark. This depends. I think it looks good this way. So this is what I've done. I burnt it. I burnt the living, out of it. I made sure that there was like no. I wanted to make sure that there was no like, because certain parts will burn way faster. This part doesn't want to burn very well. This part wants to burn really well. But here's something you got to do. If you're going to plan on using this for something, see that bow? It wasn't like that when I started. When you heat up the wood and you burn it like that, it does it. Now, I could burn the other side and try and get it back, but I don't know if I have enough gas. But what I did is I've done this before, burning it, not the shoshugi bomb part, but burning it and then taking it off and stuff like that. I went through a trend where I burnt everything. Um, Burn it before you cut it down. So I've got it like within 2 inches of the width, but I'm going to be making little 3 and 3.5 inch strips out of that. So it doesn't matter that it's all because I'm going to be cutting it down, and hopefully it's good. If not, I'll do it again, I guess, or just throw something else on my miter saw stand. But that's where we're at right there. Now you got to now you use one of these little things, just a flapper wheel. It says use eye protection. Yeah, and a respirator because it just makes fine char dust everywhere. It's a complete mess. Like you're not gonna wipe it up or sweep it up. You've got to blow this stuff off. But these are like $5-6 on Amazon, and you just take it off, and then after that, you dye it. So let's get to it. I'm going to show you a little bit of me taking this stuff off, and then I'll stop. You don't want to see all that stuff. And then I'll come back to when I start dyeing it. And I'm dyeing it with food coloring. You can go get the dyes and pay $20 for a quart of something or other. I've had better luck with food coloring, and it's like $6, and you get like 10 colors. I try and go with the grain. Going this way, it's like sanding against the grain. This doesn't work. Now, it's uneven, but you could theoretically start staining it here if you wanted, or even here. And it will, but you're gonna have a much darker thing. If you really want that pop and the contrast, you want to go down till you start seeing getting some white spots.
So that's pretty good. You could definitely do it at this point. I'm personally going to go a little bit further, but I want to do it the whole thing in stages so I don't have unevenness. That's just, I don't know, probably doesn't matter. You can. Look at that. Now what I need to do is try and get rid of the blotchiness. This looks good. This looks good. I just need to get rid of the blotchiness. You can't always do it. I mean, it's wood. It's not. It's a natural thing. There's not uniformity to it. Now let's do a little dye. Food coloring, I should say, not dye. I don't want to make somebody think I'm saying the wrong terms. And it's very simple. It's not like staining or you got to do anything special. Just kind of put it on. Make sure it's kind of even. Put some gloves on because it will stain your hands. What I do is just put it in a little container, and I have a little piece of a old T-shirt that I have it completely, saturated, and just squeeze out the excess, and I just start trying to get it all over everything else. So that's dumb of me. Just make sure that you don't leave any pieces of wood that's not covered, because then it's going to look weird. Kind of just have to get it into the cracks and crevices. I wring out the piece of shirt, to an extent, and then when I'm doing it, I can kind of push the shirt into the little cracks and crevices. If it's really sopping wet and you do that, you'll get way too much in those cracks and crevices, and then you'll have like dark spots. But honestly, you can there's no real right or wrong way to do this. You just got to give it a shot. I just went and grabbed a couple pieces of wood the first time I did it and just went to town and seen what happens. I've done different variations. I've done it like this. I've done it where I've just, holy crap, stuck my hand in the dust over here. Not a good idea. Probably should have cleaned up first. But I've used a colored stain and milk and a watered down paint and done the same thing. I've lightly burnt it and then used a wash of a colored stain and a watered down white paint that can give you a nice weathered grayish blue look. I'll try and get some pictures. I've did it on my son's bedroom set. It turned out pretty nice, but the one thing I did wrong was I did his bed one time and I did his dresser a different time, and they are not the same color. I think the dresser came out better, but it was supposed to match the bed, not the other way around. So, but it is what it is, and he didn't care. So, trying to get some dye in these little holes here, the little
This is just a right claim. This actually used to be a coffee table. See, I'm cheap, so I reuse everything. Wife didn't want the coffee table no more, so I took it outside and took it apart. The wood was going to come in handy at some point, and here it is. And that's about it right there. We're almost done. It's that simple. And then you can seal it however you choose. I've left it alone. I've used just polyacrylic, the real easy water-based one. I've used lacquer. Um, I've even used a little bit of a what is it? Epoxy, the top coat. It's pretty nice. It just depends on what you like. And this, I'm very happy to say it came out about the way I was wanting it to be. I wanted it to kind of have this like dark turquoise. If you look at the M in my sign, I was kind of going for that. So there's that. So that's that right there. I'm gonna do the other one off camera because I mean, do you need to see me do it again? Come on, come on. Eh? All right. So I'll come back when I start cutting it up and trying to put the drawer faces on my cart. I'll probably mess that up, so it'll be a good time. All right, we're back. So this is dry and this is still wet. So you see it does lighten up some. So you can always go back and maybe darken it up a little bit. I'm gonna go a little darker because I'm hoping I want it to try and stay like this. So I'm gonna go a little darker. But I just wanted to show the difference between wet and dry. This will probably actually lighten up a little bit more if we let it continue to dry. But I'm gonna go ahead and do another coat on this. By then, this one's probably will be dry, and then I'll do it again. And then on the edges, I'm just going to stain the edges back. But I'll do that after I cut them all the drawer faces, because they're going to go on that thing right there. That thing. All right. So I have let the wood dry overnight. I did get the color I was looking for. Very happy about how it came out. It came out exactly what I was wanting. But if you look, I left it on my table saw overnight and it flattened itself back out. Happy accident. Wasn't trying to. I thought maybe I should lay some weight on there, and then life happened and grandkids, and I forgot to put anything on there. And so, but I just left it there. But I left it on a very flat surface, and it dried itself. I got to do a little bit of bow in the other one, maybe a slight bow. Minoga. But the previous clip showed it was really bad. So this will be fine. And these are just drawer faces. So it's not a big deal. I'm going to clamp the living out of them and glue them to the face of my drawers. So let's get to that, huh? All right. Having a good day so far. Yesterday was like 85 degrees, and this morning it was 38 degrees. Gotta love the Southwest. So I just have a little bit of bow still. I mean, it's very minimal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it. When I'm holding it down this way, I got this part flat. I don't care about this because I'm only worried about cutting this right here. Actually, I'm going to cut it about a 1/16 more than I need, just so I can come back and clean this edge up and have it nice and tidy.
Sometimes it wants to pinch. Now I'm going to go back. 3.5. Use my known good edge. Run it through. And my next ones are 3 inches. Once again, I'm going to cut first one a little wide so I can clean it up afterwards. I used the cut edge before, not that one.
Okay, once again, I forgot to turn my mic on or forgot it all together. It looks like it's on my shirt, so I must have just not synced it properly to my camera. Either way, here I am. I'm now adding the drawer faces to the drawers on my miter cart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the handle off that I'd already previously put on. Now there's 2 screws there. I'll be able to use those screws to drill the guide holes through the face, and then I can go ahead and affix the handles back on. I'll use a little bit of carpet tape, and I'm going to use some playing cards to adjust the height and from side to side to make sure it's all even. And then when I go back afterwards, I will paint or stain the edges black of the drawer faces. It's a very simple process, so I will not continue to talk too much on this since it doesn't really match the video. There's many other videos out there that show the similar process.
Check, check.
Third time's a charm, I hope. One time I forgot to turn my mic on. The next time, I forgot to hit record. Here it is. It's done. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm gonna guess most people don't like it. I do. That's all that matters. I was going for something that would kind of be in the same vein as my logo, the habitual maker logo. So that's why I did it. Um, I won't do it again, probably. A couple reasons. Pine, you basically need to use pine so you can get this grain effect. But as soon as you start heating it up, it just starts bowing and twisting. And pine's already soft, so it's not going to be durable. Um, which, I mean, in this case, it doesn't really matter. I've always liked the way it looked. I wanted to finally build something. My wife wasn't going to let me do it, so used it on my shop furniture. Uh, I build guitars as well as doing this stuff, and guitar builders they do a lot of dyes, um, and so you dye it with black, you sand it, some of the black's still there, go over with a different color dye, you get your two tone, and it's beautiful. Not the same as this because you're not going to get all the very different color variations, but it's still very beautiful. But if you do that, you can use veneers, and then then the world's open to you. You can use all kinds of different veneers. Like burl it would be beautiful. I'm a big fan of quilted maple. You do that, and then you could work it on plywood, and so then you're much more stable, easier to build with, work with. Just all around would probably be better. I believe it'll be not I believe it will be quicker and easier. Burning this stuff did not was not quick, and then going back over it with the brush was not quick and horribly messy. Um, the dye is easy. You don't have to buy a fancy dye. You see these videos, and I'm not knocking the people at all. I'm just trying to inform the people who don't know. You see all these videos about I use XYZ brand. It's the best, and it's the only thing you can use. No, that's food coloring. Legitimately, food coloring. One second. Food coloring. Buy it off of Amazon. That's all it is. Food coloring. I put some drops in some water, kept playing around with it until I liked it the way it was. It's food coloring. You don't have to use food coloring, but you can use it. I've seen guitarists that have used, guitar builders, I should say, that have used ink for tattoos. Um, Give it a shot. Try something. You never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of woodworking. Experiment, try, learn from your mistakes, learn from your wins. You can do stuff, you know. That's really what it is, and that's what I want this channel to be about: is to let people know that you don't have to have the best of everything, and you don't have to know everything to get started and start doing stuff and enjoying it, having fun, and building things. Every time it's going to get better. Um, I have a project behind the camera that's like the bane of my existence. Like everything I could have possibly messed up, I've messed up on. But you know what I'm viewing it as now is it's basically a learning ground. I am learning how to repair all these different mistakes. So there, it's a good thing. I'm learning. So I don't need to finish it anytime soon. So whenever I have time, I work on it a little bit, and then fix another mistake. Probably make another mistake, and then have to fix that. Snowball. On this, uh, there's some things I learned. I don't make a lot of drawers. I don't know. Slides are expensive, probably. I made four 2.5 and two 3.5. No, I'm sorry, 3 inch. I would probably do it again. It'd be two twos, two 2.5s, two threes, two 3.5s. I also would not make the drawer height the height I want my drawer to be. I would leave that up to the drawer face, um, and use that as like a spacing. It would be easier
to put together, easier to for clearances and things, a little bit more fudge room. I got it done and it's fine, but it would have been easier to do it a different way. And then the biggest thing is since I had those drawers all so close together, and I essentially aligned up each one of these with the drawer. Sounds great, except for that right there, and I don't know if you can see that. Um, it's it's glaring to me. This spacing between these two drawers is not the same as all the other ones, but the way I put it on the drawer is the same as all the other ones. So when I installed this, I did something slightly different, and the drawer was not isn't. So if I would have built the drawers differently with like a half inch less on each one, and then went back, but it still had the same spacing between all the drawers, um, I would have had more room. I could have started at the bottom, went up, and kept the spacing I wanted, and it would have looked much better. And I wouldn't have had this. Now I could take it apart. I could probably fix it. I'm not going to. It's shop furniture, but I do. I did learn a lesson on that. Like I said, I don't make a lot of drawers. Usually, if I make a drawer, it's like one, maybe two. It's the first time I've ever made like a stack of drawers. So there's things to learn when you do more than one. And you change the sizes and things like that. Things I didn't think about. I made a little jig, so this would be in the center of this drawer, centered here, and it's centered this way. And I had a little jig, and I'd put it on there, and I'd lay it down, and I'd do it. That works great, except for these drawers, bigger. So this is still the same height from here to here as these, but it's a deeper drawer. So you can see these look a little odd. Lessons learned. Didn't think about it. Just was going to town one after another. It works. It's perfectly fine. But if I was selling this to somebody, I'd have to redo it. Um, Good thing I don't sell a lot, huh? But the lessons I learned, I'm going to take those. So, that's what this is about. I'm not going to cover up my mistakes. Um, Matte or satin finish, sawdust loves to stick to it. I'm not doing that anymore. Gotta remember that. That's another thing. If you used a veneer with the dyes, you'd have a smooth face. Um, and this is just like little crevices for sawdust, like the ever so fine sawdust to land on and catch. So I made this super tight tolerances so sawdust won't go in them, but no, it's gonna stick. It sticks to the outer face. Lessons learned. I didn't glue these on there. If I get sick of it, I'll just pull them off and do it again. Maybe I'll cut up some plywood and go get me some half-inch plywood and get some veneer and put on. Burl veneer would look beautiful. Maybe do the whole thing, but then I'd be afraid to touch it. So it was an experiment. Uh, if you've made it this far in the video, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. Maybe I'll get this video out to a few more people. And we could have like 6, maybe 7 people watching. I thank you for your time. I hope you learned something or at least had a good laugh. I am a screwball, and I'm all thumbs some days, and the fact that I had to record this video 3 different times is proof. Um, but that goes back to what I'm trying to say is you don't need to be a professional. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything, and you don't have to have everything to get to the point where you're at. I have a lot of tools. I've been doing this for a long time, on and off all my life. This section of my life, I've been doing this for like 12 years now, 13 years. The table saw I bought like 11 years ago. Um, I had a really crappy one. The fence was horrible, and like all I knew was I didn't really know a lot about saws. I just knew I wanted this one with a decent fence, and that's why I bought this one. And I love it. It's a great saw. It's not as great as everything else out there, but it does the job. But get a good blade. A good blade is makes or breaks everything. whether it be a table saw, a miter saw, a jigsaw, an oscillating saw, a better blade definitely helps. There's certain things. I buy a lot of Harbor Freight stuff, but blades from Harbor Freight, not that great, in my opinion. I've never used a table saw blade, so I can't say that. But like their jigsaw blades, their oscillating tool blades, they're horrible. Their sandpaper, it's trash. Sandpaper, you get what you pay for. Buy the 3M or something to that level, and you're going to save money in the long run. Believe me, I know all about pinching pennies, and then it costing me more money in the long run. This is one of those things right there. So, uh, the drawers are all made out of half-inch MDF that I got for free, but it ended up just making my life a nightmare. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you had a great time. Had a good laugh at me, something. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if this is ugly, hideous, or let me know how horrible I am, or if you just have some good advice. I'm always open for good advice. You can get good advice from anywhere. Thank you for you guys' time. Appreciate it. Have a great day.